Hey, wait. Hot sauce. The results tell you the truth.
You keep. It's not hot sauce. I want to wait. I want to talk.
Okay, so do the result.
We go back to my question, right?
Your question don't mean shit because I answered and you don't like my answer.
All right, so the other words you saying yes, right?
I'm saying results tell you the truth.
What the fuck?
All right, is it or not? So Reese, I answered the question, Reese. I'll try to, between y'all two or whatever, right? So the fact
Reese don't know he don't like me because my father was born in 1912. Well, go ahead, Francis.
Well, 1912, which means he's your ass from the future, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But nah, so Reese, no, and Reese, you bring up a great point, Reese. A lot of people don't know history. A lot of people don't know world history, Reese. A lot of people don't know about Mao. A lot of people don't know about Stalin. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know about fucking Pol Pot. People don't understand historical context.
Religious wars, dog, where millions of people died in a matter of days.
That's what I'm saying, Reese. People don't know history, and black people have this this addiction and infatuation with the slavery whole situation to where that's the worst thing that ever happened.
Fantastic. Let me ask you a question. Fantastic. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Fantastic. Wait a minute. Fantastic. Let me ask you a question.
What the fuck is this, man?
If you want to kill somebody in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus torture someone in the United States, which one you get the most time from?
It depends, OG. If it's first degree, that's life or death penalty. If it's what's the name, torturing and kidnapping, that's like I think at least 20 to 30 years. You get the most for death.
But let me ask you a question: which one has an after effect? Which one after effects has contributed to a person's mindset? The death or the person who's been tortured?
Well, OG, that's a little trick question, OG.
No, it's not.
You ain't got no mind if you're dead, OG.
I'm not gonna talk to Reese. I don't think he had enough marijuana this morning. I don't think he had enough marijuana this morning, so I'm not even talking to him.
Riddles to niggas.
I'm not giving you riddles. It's that way to your mindset because you need stimulus to even think, brother.
You can be straight up and discriminate.
Brother, I just say you need a stimulus to even think. I don't even talk to people who need stimulus to think.
Yo, it should be illegal to talk about the slave trade. It should be illegal to teach that.
It should be illegal for you to get on the internet and be high and think you smart.
The biggest problem with niggas is
that's what I'm just saying. It should be illegal for you to get on the internet and smoke weed and think you smart.
You a grown motherfucking man. Why you won't let me finish?
Regardless of what you say, if I had to deal with somebody who had to have a stimulus to make themselves think they're smarter than what they are, then I don't deal with that person.
The truth.
You part of the problem.
Narrow, nigga. That's
you part of the problem and don't even know it.
You are emotional.
I'm not emotional. I'm conscious. That's the difference. Understand the difference. Emotion and conscious is two different things. I'm conscious. I'm a conscious your bullshit.
You afraid of me, nigga.
I'm a conscious of your bullshit. Not physically, mentally, or spiritual. I'm ever gonna be afraid of you. You're a baby to me. You're a baby to me. It's like taking candy for a baby. You're a baby to me. In any way you want to look at it.
You're not straight up, dog. You tell poems.
I just told you, you're a baby to me.
Coming at you, you cut people.
You got baby knowledge.
I can't even talk to you, dog.
I know you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Cut out the weed, cut out the drink, and then come out and have a conversation with me.
I'm in 10 times better shape than you, nigga. You would die.
You know. Nigga, you done lost your mind.
Motherfucker.
I would put on a suit, tie one of my hands behind my back, and put on some Stacey Allen and beat your ass all around this country.
I ain't talk about fighting.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the conversation.
Violence, that's you. I'm talking about a race or anything.
I'm talking about just knowledge. You can't beat me in that.
The reason why is because you will not let me finish a sentence because you're afraid, nigga.
I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm conscious of you.
You're high.
I wouldn't talk. Hey, fantastic. I wouldn't go out there and start having a conversation with a drunk on the corner. Why would I have a serious conversation with a man who's getting high on the internet?
on, OG.
Okay. Let's bring it back to the conversation. We got Zach that just joined the panel. Do you have anything you want to add to the conversation that you've been hearing so far?
Absolutely. With regards to the word knowledge, I just wanted to tie in some points that I've heard listening for the last hour or so.
Oh, you're going to add in the Gematria, right?
Well, I just want to make a few points. So, the American Civil War, we just passed the anniversary of Memorial Day, holiday that came out of the Civil War. A lot of people don't know this because they don't teach it in the classroom textbooks where we pledged to 13 stripes for 13 years and learn about all the 13s in this nation. But Lincoln blamed the American Civil War on the Jesuits. And something else that's left out is the man who escaped the assassination was John Surratt, who was a Jesuit, and he was protected by the Vatican for the rest of his life. And his mom was executed in his place. And all of this is left out of history. They leave out the Jesuit assassin. They don't tell you at all. And you guys just brought up Martin Luther King Jr. A lot of people overlook the sick joke with his murder. He was killed on the 95th day of the leap year, April 4th, 68. And he also was killed a year to the day of the speech that he was not supposed to give that got him demonized by Lyndon Johnson. Everyone should look up MLK's speech from April 4th, 67 called A Time to Break Silence Beyond Vietnam. He talks about how what's really killing this nation is its evil foreign policy and all the needless wars that put hatred in men's hearts, and they come back, if they survive the war, to the country and take it out on their families, their fellow people.
67, right?
April 4th, 67, Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence. He was killed a year to the day. Look up the headlines in the newspapers the day after. Lyndon Johnson said he was insane. He was no longer invited to the White House. Martin Luther King Jr. was blacklisted from the media for the last year of his life. Nobody heard about him until
Last 3 years.
But especially after that speech. His own people left him because they said he shouldn't give that speech because they know you cannot speak against the U.S. military. But here's what I want to come back to. MLK was killed on the 95th day of the leap year. Who did he assume the name Martin Luther after? Because that was not his birth name. He assumed...
Go ahead.
He assumed it after
a lot of people don't know his original name was Michael King.
Exactly. He assumed the name Martin Luther after the Protestant Reformation leader who wrote the 95 Theses. And he gets killed on the 95th day of the year. Now, here's what's wild if you look into it. For people who do not know who the Jesuits are, they came about because of Martin Luther and his 95 Theses. They were recognized by the Vatican on September 27th, 1540. That's the day leaving 95 days left in the year. And their original mission was to stop Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation and his 95 Theses. So if you look into it, from the day that Martin Luther penned the 95 Theses to the day that the Jesuits were created, which was in Paris, France, August 15th, 1534, it's 201 months and days later. 201 months. From the day that MLK was killed until the day of the nation's first gun control legislation in history, it's 201 days later. Now, this 201 thing's not arbitrary. We were just living in the time of the first ever Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. And he was the first Jesuit Pope and the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. Of course, he just died. And if you want to look into it, he was named after St. Francis of Assisi. He died 201 days after the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi. This 201 is super important to the Jesuits. If you look into their history, they were preserved in the time of their suppression by Catherine the Great, who saved the Jesuits with 201 priests. This is what's written in the own Jesuit history. I could go into deep detail about how important 201 is to the Jesuits and why, but I want to bring this point up. Earlier, you mentioned Black Lives Matter. And what I'm going to show you is Black Lives Matter is not a black operation. It's a Jesuit operation, just like a lot of things are.
It's Antifa, black.
Antifa is run by the Jesuits, and there's a reason that city governments are told to stand down to Antifa. I have footage on the streets of Seattle talking to their police about why they don't do anything about Antifa, and they said, take it up with your mayor. But hold on. 201, you were bringing up George Floyd. I'm going to connect George Floyd and Michael Brown and 201 and all this, because these are the two things that really elevated Black Lives Matter. Michael Brown, of course, popped it off, and then George Floyd took it to a new level.
Trayvon.
I'll tie in Trayvon Martin too.
Hold on, real quick, Zachary. There has been a stop hold on what you're trying to say. So
One day you here, baby, and then you're gone.
I got him up out of here, man, for the 20 ball.
That's fucked.
okay,
No,
Zach, you got 20 minutes, so you can come back at 12:45.
He was.
Let the record show that. No,
He said, "I'm on top." Let me say something. Y'all got it, man. Listen, bro. Again, it's crazy to me how people talk about white supremacy and this, that, and the other, all this different shit, right? The white man, this white man, that. One of the biggest things is what the white man controls you learning. Okay, please get outside of the news. Please get outside of what you've been traditionally taught. Do some research, bro.
Put the speech in the back chat for y'all, yo.
I know the Gematria and shit is a little out of hand and that may be a little too far-fetched for people. But if you just go a little bit off the path, man, you ain't even got to jump, put your whole tinfoil Steve Harvey suit on. Bro, if you just get outside of the traditional shit, bro, and start learning a little bit outside of it, going back to like OG said, those 700 years that purposely isn't taught or told about anything about the rulership of black people in the Moors in Europe, bro, you will really see that the white supremacy shit is not even like, it's not even close to anything we need to be worried about. Okay. In 2025, bro, you literally have the power of knowledge to any and everything that's ever existed in mankind, bro, if you just go find it. All right. So
AI is your friend.
So yeah, man. So please just do some research, bro. If you're around here talking about what a white man not gonna let you do and all these different things, you're behind and you're most certainly gonna be lost in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay. You need to be finding a way to make yourself as motherfucking as dangerous. Okay. All right. And I'm not talking, of course, harming other people and shit, but I'm talking about knowledge with knowledge. Arm yourself with knowledge, bro. So you survive this shit, because these robots and this AI is not finna stop. It's not finna slow down. And the less you got to fucking offer, hey, good luck.
All right, next level. I'm out, Mr. Fantastic, OG, Freezy, if you there, Reese from Philly. Y'all take care. I'm out. Y'all take it easy. But I just want to point out one thing. For all the white supremacy bullshit, notice OG did not interrupt that white dude at all. I'm gone.
You know why?
I don't even know why you brought.
No, why? Because I was reading the chat and I know he was gonna go sooner or later. I was reading the chat, so I didn't have to interrupt. He got interrupted, and he wasn't talking about anything other than patterns, so I didn't have to interrupt him. I only, because he never came up here and said something directly to me. He never asked me a question. He never did anything. So I tell you what, you can take that tissue that you had beside you and you can blow your nose, wipe your ass, and do whatever you want to do with it. I know I've lived this life. So it might not be your life. You don't know how many people I have came in and involved myself in their life to make them look at things different. I speak the way I speak to my people that way. I make them understand you can't use excuses why you can't be better. But you most certainly can't be better if you don't understand why you're in the condition you are in.
OG.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to ask you something. The slavery story is a very horrible, horrible story. Do you think that it's okay to teach this story to children in the world?
I think it's okay to teach anything that a person, let me just put it this way. I think it's horrible to not teach your sons who you're driving down the street and not teach him certain way he has to carry himself if he's pulled over by the police officer.
All right, stop right there. So what if the police officer, right, the racist police officer, and the person driving the car, right, what if both of them never ever learned the slavery story? How do you think their interaction would go?
Well, Let's be honest, the white man didn't have to do the slavery story or know anything about slavery to know one thing. You know,
Anyway, you saw how with somebody paid him 20, so they muted. I was going to finish up the point because they were talking about the whole George Floyd thing and how ridiculous Black Lives Matter is and how they were even protesting it in Paris, France. I was going to get to the point about how the Jesuits were credited in Paris, France. And again, the two names protested together in Paris were George Floyd and Adama Traore. And again, Adama Traore was killed on the 201st day of the year, 201 weeks on the nose before George Floyd. And again, 201 in the Jesuits, who are from Paris, France, like the first Jesuit pope was Pope Francis. And in Gematria, George Perry Floyd equals 201. They brought up his baby mama, Roxy Washington, who equals 201. They told the story immediately of Lamar Ferguson, who was beaten by the same police in Minnesota. Lamar Ferguson, 201. That reminds of Ferguson, Missouri, where Michael Brown happened. Michael Brown, 201. And again, just it's a long pattern at 201 with the Jesuits. The Jesuit order equals 201, like Order of Illuminati equals 201, like the first Jesuit Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, is 201, like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, is 201, and on and on and on. But yeah, you see, I mean, this is the real reason people are suffering, because they don't know who to listen to. And this whole panel was talking about news like it's real, talking about news stories, getting provoked by news stories. Again, you guys, it really is an intelligence problem. And it's not a racial thing. It's just across the board. It's a lack of intelligence, and a lot of people just totally indoctrinated by authority. And you see it here again today. That's where that quote comes from. My people suffer for lack of knowledge. Don't forget, the number 201 in Hebrew has to do with light and enlightenment and knowledge. And even in English, the phrase knowledge is power is 201. Not an accident. Until next time, Truth Seeker.